I think the number one place where everybody or beginners typically go wrong with this whole mixing business, it starts in the very first second that they start mixing. And I know when I sit down to mix, there is a certain like, oh hell, what am I gonna do here? And almost like a panic, I guess you could say. There's a certain sense of like these tracks don't sound right. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I've not started mixing this song at all. This is just some scratch junk that was whatever we had on the vocal. I have gone and cleaned up some of the individual tracks a little bit, EQing them where I think we might want to go sound wise, just kind of using the solo button, not really thinking in a global context here at all. So let's listen.
They can try all they want, but they can't keep me tied up like a puppy dog. You'll see, not long till I'll be gone running these streets. God knows this will never last, Brother John. I won't let it be. They can try.
Okay, and I guess that's a chorus. I don't know. This band was kind of doing I don't know if I'd call it more progressive type of song, but it's a song where maybe the verse is the chorus and the chorus is the verse. I don't know. But either way, this is the loud, peaky part, and I like to start with the intense stuff. It seems like working back to verses is pretty straightforward most of the time once we get the big stuff rocking. Now, none of this sounds right. This is obviously unmixed, so that's why we're here. And individual tones seem to be pretty decent on everything. But what I'm thinking right now when I hear this, well, once I get over that initial panic of, what the hell am I going to do? The next thing I'm thinking is, okay, I start thinking, like, what is the song calling for? And the first thing I noticed was a kick drum. And again, we talked about that a million times. I like to start with kick drums a lot of the time. Now I got Eventide on the vocal. So the vocal and the vocals are EQ'd where a good starting point for me. I kind of like that sound, whatever you want to call this, whatever this vocal is there.
They can try all they want, but they can't keep me tied.
And at this point, I've got, I think I used a little bit of de-essing, just a little, and the Soniformer to really kind of contain, all these multi-bands, the 30-something multi-bands, whatever it is. That's really it. So the vocal is kind of a bread and butter kind of thing, and then I've also got the Eventide, which I render these down these days, just because recalling mixes with hardware effects can be a real disaster. It's just faster for me to go ahead and render them, have them, and then I can tweak them, as WAV files, and that's actually quite convenient for me anyway. So anyway, so leaving the vocals alone, assuming vocals are pretty good, and I think they are at this point. Guitars sound okay. The thing that jumped out for me is a kick drum. What does the song call for, and what do we have right now?
They can try all they want, but they can't.
And if we look at the kick drum there, he's just going boom, 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 and quarter notes there. So those need to be big, real big. And I'm thinking this song's got a hint of modern country to it, just a little bit. Guitar sounds are a little bit more on the rectifier end of the fence than, say, like an old Plexi or something, which they might use on country radio. But either way, country, as hard as it is for me to admit, usually has that big kick drum, boom, boom, boom. Modern country production is hard to beat, even if I can't really stand the subject matter. But anyway, so the biggest thing I see here is I got to get this kick drum to be slamming. Like I'm kind of imagining AC/DC live, doing Thunderstruck or boom, 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 that kind of thing. It has to have that power, like a cannon, kind of going off a little bit. So that's something we're going to explore for sure. Let's keep looking here and see what else is bugging me.
They can try all they want.
Okay, the guitars are bone dry right now. And they're kind of on the fizzy. Maybe I use a little bit too much gain. I don't know. But what I'm thinking there is we're going to have to space those out. Probably a small room, and maybe a lot of it, where it kind of pulls them back and widens them, where you kind of have this more of a wall of sound kind of thing, and less of a articulate, I think it's gonna be like, if that makes any sense. I guess I can't really do it with my mouth, but just imagine bigger, wider, and a little bit less distinct. We want to take some of that fizz out of there. So that's another thing I'm hearing. More like a big, tidal wave, or hurricane, call it whatever you want. What else we got?
But they can't keep me tied.
All right, we got these yells, can't keep me, and I think we've only got two. They're probably thinking Def Leppard here, and so I'm going to have to monkey up some kind of way to get that. Ooh, that was an interesting sound. I'm going to have to monkey up a way to get these to sound more like 16 layers, these big, massive layers, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. Reverb doesn't hurt, but it's almost always some kind of delays or pitch shifting or something. I don't know. I need to find a better solution for that, but that's something else I'm going to have to dig through. Anyway, the point really here of this video is not so much as what does this song call for, but what is my process. And this is what goes on when I first listen to the song. I'm just looking for where do I need to take it. And again, I go over this all the time, but I'm big on is a song effective? Is a mix effective? Is my mix good? Well, how do I determine if a mix is good? I determine by having certain goals that I want to achieve with this song. There's a certain, and that band right now, this mix is due yesterday, I think. This band has certain expectations. They have a certain goals that they want met too with this song. And really all mixing is about getting to those. So the first thing you really need to do is say, what is the damn goal? And then figure out how to get there. And so if you sit down and just started pushing buttons and just kind of, I remember when I was brand new, I would have just started grabbing faders and moving them. And I really don't know why. And I remember a decade ago asking myself, like, why am I moving this fader? Well, now I know it's because I'm trying to make this song rock. I'm trying to achieve a certain goal. So sit down and figure out what your goals are. Thanks, guys. Bye.